Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really I'm ready for love today. Do I wanna be?
What is happening, sleepers? How are we doing this morning? It is week 15. We are there, guys. We are 1 week away from the championship. This is all on the line. It's do or die time still. I see people are just hopping on right now, getting going. I'm sure we're going to have some people talking about their quest to the championship. But first, I got some special guests with me this morning. George and Jason are out there. They're getting those toys handed out for Toys for Tots. That's a big deal, man. They actually get to be a part of handing these things out. They never have got to do this before, so what an incredible thing, man. Another shout out to those guys. A big thing that those guys do. But hey, we got with us first. It's G-Men Jay. What's happening, man? How we doing this morning?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you having me on. You know, this is the first time I'm able to hop on with you. You know, I've been writing with Sleeper Wire for this year. I've been a fan of Sleeper Wire over the years, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. You're just kicking ass and taking names with that writing crew, man. I like what I see out of there. I keep up with all those articles. Shout out to those guys. If you're not keeping up with those guys, get on sleeperwire.com.
And we're adding more too. We got an awesome crew of writers that really has stepped up big time this year. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, like, I can't, like, Sheehan, he's the guy that I'm just like, oh my gosh, what an up and comer in the writing industry.
His opportunity report has been really, really good piece of writing, and something I make sure I read every week.
Absolutely. And then a familiar face basically on the show now, huh? We got Nader with Top Tier Tactics. Nader, how we doing, buddy?
Oh, I've been now featured on the Thursday show, and every so often I'll come and help out on the Wednesday mail sack. But, I've always wanted to come on the Sunday Blitz, and I guess this is my dream come true.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. And, you're a West Coaster too. So it's a little slow at the beginning, but boy, once you West Coasters start waking up, it starts popping up.
I mean, it is 7:30 in the morning now. It's I'm waiting for my coffee to get made right now.
Right. I call that lunchtime where I come from.
God, I don't know how you guys could do it. Sometimes I wonder, is the price of property worth being in the West Coast? But then, sometimes like I think about it and I go, yeah, maybe it is.
There is something to that, right? Like I was saying before the show, like I was in Mountain Time for a time there and for 39 years. And man, something about having football on at 10:30 in the morning, not at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, was just so much nicer than what I'm experiencing here.
That's gonna be awesome too, with having kids and being able to go to bed after the game at 8 o'clock, versus 11:30, 12 o'clock when the game ends here. For, as JJ Zachariason says, the East Coast dads, it's not very kind to us when trying to get some rest. But because no matter how late I stay up, my kids are still going to be up at 6 a.m. So.
That's brutal. I don't know how you guys do it.
Coffee, lots of coffee.
Yeah, man, right there. Like
I got it right here. So.
But I should be.
You know what?
I do as much as I drink.
Oh, God. So what do you guys at? Like 3-4 cups of coffee a day?
At least 3.
3?
Yeah, that's like
minimum.
I'm like, I usually have 3 cups of coffee put down by about 5 in the morning. I'm trying to think of how much coffee I actually drink in a day. Like probably almost a whole pot, a day. Like I go pretty.
I thought
2 to 3 before lunch, and then after lunch, I'll usually have like either an energy drink or something like a Monster or something like that, or another cup of coffee. So got to have that afternoon pick me up.
I thought I was wild for having like 1 cup of coffee a day. And I thought, like I was a little addicted and I needed to be careful. But no, you guys are blowing me out of the water.
Wait till you have kids. That's what, man. My wife did not drink coffee at all, and now she can't go without at least 2 cups a day.
Oh my God. So what you're telling me is don't have kids.
No, it's worth it. Yeah, well, he's in the 5-week range, so
okay.
Trust me, it's
you like money and you like sleep. Stick with that plan.
Okay. Hey, you know what? You're onto something.
Just a reminder, everybody, just go ahead and give us a call if you want to hop in the front of the line, 205-797-5337 or 205-79-SLEEP. And we're going to go ahead and dive into these questions, guys. We got to start us off. We got Dare Go Dat Man 94. He says championship or bust. We got Mike Davis and A-Rod did him no favors. It's a close race. He needs one. PPR, Andrews, Kuti, Gage, Goddard. He's Goder on the Sunday Blitz or Chark.
Okay.
And so he thought maybe he'd get cute and start QT. And he's also got Andrew starting right now. What do you guys think right here?
I like QT. I think right now with Brandon Cooks back, they're going to focus a lot of attention on his side, leaving him very vulnerable to abuse that defense. I like him, and especially if he has Watson and he puts up similar points to Watson, you can really cancel out the all-important QB.
I'm going to lean between Chark and Andrews for me. With all the guys that are out with COVID on Baltimore, I know Andrews has been a little bit of a disappointment. You know, we were expecting him to jump into that top tier with the Kelseys and the Kittles, and he's been up and down, but as of late, you know, the past 3 games, he's got 6 targets, 7 targets, 9 targets. He's got a solid matchup against Jacksonville, and with the option, all the wide receivers, although Lamar doesn't necessarily throw to his wide receivers, but with those guys being out with COVID. And then Chark, he's going to be the beneficiary of Gardner Minshew coming back. You know, they hooked up early and often, although it's a tough matchup against Baltimore. So for me, I'm going to lean Andrews, which QT isn't a bad option either. I agree with everything you said, but I just like the opportunity. I think Lamar's finally turning it on. He once he went and took care of business after in the middle of the game the other night, he was came back, won the game, and I think he's going to be the Lamar of last year as this season comes down to an end.
Yeah, I mean, if you also think about Gage with Julio out, that leaves a lot of room for him to be able to rack up, especially in PPR. PPR points is going to be massive, and a lot of the times the receptions is just more important than the yards. All you have to do is just add that touchdown for the cherry on top. But it's difficult to go and trust the 4th string wide receiver in your semifinal championship game. So while I agree, I think Andrews would be a good start, but this is for the flex position, so I'm really surprised and curious to hear what his actual tight end is. I can't imagine it's that much better than Aaron Andrews. Or not Aaron Andrews, but Mark Andrews, sorry.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I don't know if you want to drop that in, you know, maybe because I like QT, I like Gage as well. I wouldn't go with Goddard or Chark. I wouldn't go with Goddard. Chark could be a potential option, but I would go QT over Chark as well.
Yeah, so
maybe get both of it, you know, with Gage. You know, it's who's Atlanta play again this week?
Atlanta plays.
Okay. So, you know, they're going to have to score some points.
Yeah, with the bad defense, they're going to have to put up at least 35 if they want to win, which is why Gage kind of looks like a good option. But QT, he plays Indianapolis. Indianapolis is going to put up points also. So I feel like they're both in the same range and same situation, especially since they're both backups. Aaron Andrews does seem like a good matchup, but I find it difficult to put a tight end in a flex position.
Sure.
I don't mind putting a tight end in a flex position, but it's really got to be a tight end premium where I really can solidify that with an answer. I feel like, though, with the options that I have, I feel like he's going to be the guy who gets in the end zone for me. I feel like Kuti might actually be the play here as well. Just because, I mean, Mark Andrews has been so hit or miss this year, but boy, I feel like he's onto a big game today. So,
yeah, I'm going to have to agree there.
Okay, so we got Dana. What's up, Dana? We got PPR pick 2. We got Ayuk, Cup, or Godwin.
Ayuk and Cup. I think Godwin, he's too hit or miss to be able to trust. Cup, he's the number 1 in that offense. And right now, Brandon Ayuk over the last 3 games is averaging 95 yards per game. The only 2 receivers that do that are Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. If you're in that range, you must start.
Yep, I completely agree. And I'm a huge Godwin truther. I love Chris Godwin, but he's just been too inconsistent in this offense. In the Sleeper Wire Start Sit article, Brandon Ayuk was our start of the week at wide receiver. He's averaged 20.5 fantasy points over the past 5 games. He's got 11 targets over that same period. He is if you have him, he is in your lineup. And then with Kupp going against the Jets. He's Jared Goff's top guy. I love Bobby Trees as well, but him and Kupp have something pretty special. So I like Godwin, and he can have a big game too. But in the semifinals, you want to go with the little bit of the safer option, which is going to be Kupp, and he's got the same ceiling as Godwin as well.
It's hard the word league winner gets thrown around a lot.
This year, especially, man, you have heard it nonstop.
But in my opinion, Brandon Ayuk is a league winner.
Yep.
I think you have a significant advantage having him in your lineup. Not quite a James Robinson advantage, but he's definitely been a huge help to whoever has owned him in the playoff run.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw him dropped a lot of places when I'm sorry to interrupt, but I saw him dropped a lot of places when Deebo Samuel came back. Everybody thought that he was going to fade to the background, and it's been quite the opposite.
Right. Ayuk actually, has the opportunity with Deebo out. He's, to me, I think the start of the week is, I've got him in all my dailies. I'm trying to get this guy going everywhere. And it's sitting, which is crazy.
He's going against Dallas. I mean, that's such a good matchup with Dallas. And then next week he has Arizona, another beatable matchup. His playoff schedule has been nice, and he's been just performing in a underperforming offense that the Niners are currently.
Absolutely. We got George or BFTG Pod says George changed. If you did not hop on the Sleeper Wire Get Sexy Challenge at the beginning of the season, I want you to see what the end results of this are. I mean, look at this, guys. I mean, if you want to see results, you hop on here with Sleeper Wire. I mean,
much better than this.
That's what I'm saying right there. I mean, we had to sexy it up. We keep on blaming things like Toys for Tots, but we're shopping. We're shopping for new people here.
Brutal.
We got Dana again. We got PPR, Hurst, Komet, Irv Smith, Logan Thomas, or Higbee for you guys.
So Logan Thomas is the safest option, but Alex Smith is not playing. Therefore, Logan Thomas is now an unknown. Me, I have a personal biased, and I really like Cole Kmet, but it's difficult to start a touchdown or bust type of tight end. So I think Logan Thomas is still the safest option regardless.
I know this is going to be a little boring, but we're agreeing way too often. I like both Logan Thomas and Cole Kmet. I got a couple of people who I am in a Cole Kmet fan club chat that it's kind of developed. It's been a whole thing. I don't know if you guys saw, but I can throw you in there if you want.
Yeah, honestly, I drafted him in the 3rd round. I felt like I needed to secure him.
So I would be probably thrown out of the club if I did not say start Cole Kmet. However, you're right. You're banking on a touchdown, and it could happen. It's a game that I expect a lot of points to be scored. Especially, is Jimmy Graham playing?
Yeah, he still plays. Out. Oh, I don't know if he's out this game.
Banged up. So let me see if I can find.
If Jimmy Graham's out this game, that might change my answer.
Right. That's. He's questionable, so I don't know.
Yeah, for me, with playing a tight or a touchdown or bust tight end, I mean, isn't that really what we're playing if we're not playing Travis Kelce, if we're not playing Hawkinson? And I mean, basically that's it, right? This year, I can't really think of any other tight end that isn't been touchdown dependent, not been prone to giving you that 4 for 44, the 3 for 33. Seem to be, I mean, we're talking about hot tight ends because they got 4 for 44 and a touchdown. So yeah, this guy's at the top of the block. So Gesicki would be another guy. I don't know. I'm going to look him up while you guys are talking about them because I'm not too sure if he's playing today.
He is currently questionable in a game time decision, but I mean, you're completely correct right now. A good tight end is 4 for 40, and hopefully he gets a touchdown. But you got to look at the percentage and the chances that he does get a touchdown. I mean, right now, Robert Tonyan leads the NFL with 11 touchdowns, and nobody really anticipated that. And he's considered
right there.
Exactly.
Nobody was talking about.
Yeah, and nobody really expected that, and that's kind of the expectation now, considering he only had 18 yards on Saturday. So, I mean, if Jimmy Graham does not play, I'm going to say start Cole Kmet. But if he does play, then I'm going to have to go Logan Thomas.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just agreeing.
And I like Logan Thomas, but I'm just going to lean Cole Kmet, and he's turned on. He was this close to scoring a touchdown last week. It seems like Trubisky's really looking his way a lot. So I'm going to lean Kmet. Irv Smith isn't a bad option either. I would not touch Higbee. He was somebody who I was way off. He's had a blow up, that one blow up game at the beginning of the year, but he's proven that his stretch last year was more of what's his name, Everett being out versus he could be taking the next step. Hurst has been so hit or miss too. They could look to him a little more with Julio being out, but I think that's more of a boost for, like we were talking about earlier, Gage. So I think you're right. I think Logan Thomas is the safer play, but Kmet being the ceiling play.
Yep, I like Kmet a lot this week, and I feel like he's been getting his fair share of the targets and touchdowns as well. He hasn't been anything sexy, but again, like I said, if you're outside of those two tight ends, you're not really happy with what you got.
Like it happens every year too. Everybody, tight end's so deep. We've got this guy, we got that guy that's going to break out, and it turns out being the two, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and then that's about it. Although Kittle,
we start treating them like kickers,
right? Exactly.
Right
Kittle,
now,
we played 9 games and is still like the tight end 16 on the season or something like that. I was reading It's something insane like that.
Well, we've been waiting for the logo on your hat, Mr. Evan Ingram, to blow up for the past three
Mr. Butterfinger. He's had the opportunity. He just can't hold on to the ball, man.
Yeah, and
the clapper is, he keeps throwing them, 4-yard outs and stuff like that. And I'll admit, I'm a little ashamed to say I was kind of excited to see what Jason Garrett could do as offensive coordinator, but it has not been pretty.
I mean, he at one point he had the most red zone targets on the team, which is like a little stat you could, hang your hat on, try to go for that when you're starting Evan Ingram, but it's not produced to the point where we hoped. Yep. And I guess that just shows the tight end position is so volatile. It's either you have or have nots.
Yep, that's it right there. Dare Go That Man says, anyway, we can trust Zeke over Gallman and PPR this week.
No.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying it, but I tell you to put Gallman in.
I feel ashamed, like I should just close my laptop and just leave by saying Gallman over Zeke. But I mean, you got to go what's in front of you, and that's not me being a homer. I think anybody who knows me knows that I play with my head, not with my heart. But you can't trust Zeke over Gallman.
And Zeke goes against the Niners. They got a pretty good run defense, even though they're a little banged up. And like the stat I just mentioned earlier, Evan Ingram was the red zone leader. Now it's Gallman, and he played in 4 less games than everybody on the team so far. He has better touchdown upside than Zeke and a better matchup than Zeke.
Yeah.
Got to go with that.
And he's a 4-play too. He's had double digits in every single game that he started this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard to say, but yeah, Gallman is a safe play, and he's got a higher ceiling than Zeke.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. I can't believe I'm agreeing with you guys on that. They're trying to figure out an argument I can insert here to try to even just throw a different opinion, and I've got nothing.
The only thing you could say is just name brand right now. Zeke is Zeke. Yeah. You can't bench Zeke, but I mean, it's semifinals now. You got to do something.
Right. I feel like I can bench Zeke with the way he's been performing, and that's
Pollard looked much better than him.
Right. Gallman's been the guy for a lot of. I mean, we talk about league winners again. I want to know how many championship rosters Wayne Gallman is on. Is
definitely
like flat getting it done and getting in the end zone. George said he's a huge fan of Aaron Andrews.
Same.
I'm not sure. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I get that now. Dare Go That Man, just to give a little clarification, said his other starters are Robinson and Kelsey for the.
That makes sense.
So I can see Flex and Andrews in that instance then for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad. That's a very good problem to have.
That's a good 1-2 punch at tight end.
Oh, I don't know how you got that scenario where you were able to draft Kelsey and Mark Andrews.
Right. You must have had to gone like 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or so. Pretty damn close, I'd bet.
Mm-hmm.
Dana's got a question. PPR, Gallman, David Johnson, or Pollard? He left Melvin. She left. Sorry. I've probably corrected people on Dana about 50 times that she's a female, and I just messed that up. Left Melvin Gordon on the bench, and I think I would have recommended doing that against the Bills.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in one of my semifinals, I'm going against Melvin Gordon, so that hurts even more. So,
I don't know. I mean, while Melvin Gordon, he splits his shares, the Bills have been known to allow runners to gash them, especially in the red zone. We saw that against the Chiefs and against the Titans when they played. So, I mean, I don't blame you, but personally, I probably would have recommended starting Melvin Gordon. But Gallman's got to be on there at this point. He's got to be on that field.
I agree.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's got to be Gallman. He's got the floor. David Johnson's looked pretty putrid when he's been on the field. Pollard, he's still the backup, even though he's looked better. Zeke's getting more touches, and it's a tough matchup. It's pretty easily Gallman for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not even really close for me. It's Gallman on this one too, and I get it though too. I mean, like the thing that was starting to make me fade on Gordon a little bit more was like the return of Matt Milano on defense and things like that. Like it seemed like the holes that Buffalo had on that team, they were starting to get filled back up. So that's where I was kind of leaning more towards them. Shutting down Denver completely, but they just said that was a lot of garbage time. But boy, I got to go off on something because I'm a huge Wyoming fan. I was a huge Josh Allen fan. I remember tweeting at John Elway, just do not let Josh Allen escape the round. And John Elway decided to do what he wanted to anyways and didn't listen to me. And he drafted Bradley Chubb. And I liked how Josh Allen just showed him out yesterday because I guess the announcer asked him, is this kind of like a homecoming? He goes, being from Laramie, and he goes, now going back to Denver, which is close. And he goes, they could have drafted me in the 5th round. And that's all he said to the statement right there, and I mean, still had a memory of that. And I think he showed that he had a memory of that. And that was great yesterday.
Mm-hmm. But to be fair, I think we're being pretty hard on the Denver quarterback, which is Drew Lock. I mean, statistically, through the first 15 games, he has outperformed Josh Allen. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I think the team needs to rally around Drew Lock a little bit more. And I think they need more help for him in order for him to succeed. I think the Bills did laid a good blueprint. They got a good wide receiver. They upgraded the offensive line. And then they really gave him a chance to succeed. I'd like to see the Denver Broncos do the same.
Yeah, same. I'm a diehard Denver fan. So, I mean, for me, yeah, I definitely want to see it. But I'm also like a Cowboys fan first. And so being the Wyoming Cowboys fan I was good to see Josh Allen get out there and rip it up and just at least show John Elway that he screwed up because, man, I think I do agree. Drew Lock is a great quarterback, right? But I think Josh Allen is way smarter, has way a high football IQ. I think he's a lot better and we'll succeed more.
We shall see.
We shall see. Justin asks, opponent had Jacobs, Waller, Josh Allen, and Jones. He had Eckler and Davis. So now he needs high ceilings. He's got Logan, Thomas, Kmet, Higbee, Everett, and Irv Smith.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll be back next year. No, I'm just kidding. Who has the highest ceiling? And that's probably Cole Kmet or Irv Smith. Because they're both very high touchdown potential players. I mean, of course, we're talking about tight ends, so that's all they have. But Irv Smith has had multiple touchdown games. And he has
rid of Higbee and Everett. That's not even in consideration.
Exactly. And Irv Smith has had games with 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, if you're talking highest ceiling, he's probably that guy.
Yeah, I like both of them, especially Rudolph's out this week. But again, I got to represent my Cole Kmet club. I got to go with him. I think that Trubisky's looked his way a lot. He was very close to having a big game. He had a solid game last week, but he was very close to catching that touchdown last week. I would have pushed him over that threshold that we're looking for. And I could see it. They're playing each other, right? The Vikings and the
Vikings are playing the Chicago.
They're playing each other. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Cole Kmet simply because the Vikings have a worse defense. I think they're both very high ceiling. You can't go wrong with either one of those guys. But like I said, got to represent my Cole Kmet club, and we're going to go with him on this one.
I like it. I like it a lot. We got a troll here, it looks like. Dirty, what do I think about Jay and I dominating your Dynasty League? You're my dog, too. I credit where credit's due, man. You guys have definitely – I mean, out of 2 people that have just whipped my ass since the game, it's Demon J and Beamer Cleaner. And I don't know what it is that I did to make you guys so mad at the very beginning.
For me, it's that Boston hat that you have on. That's what.
Fair enough. I guess I got to bow down and take it when it comes, man. But yeah, you guys did awesome this year. Another fantastic job. You guys seem to always.
We're both in the semis. Hopefully I see you in the championship, Marty. We'll see.
There you go. There you go. And what's up, Beamer? We love you, man. We love you.
Yeah, my
Josh,
God.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I know you guys are homies. Like that's one thing that I've always liked is seeing the friendship develop out of you two guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's in, I think, Nova Scotia, and I'm in North Carolina, and we just became friends over Twitter. And then, we co-own teams. We're in pretty much all our home leagues together. I'd literally probably talk to him every day. Like he would be at my house every day if we lived close enough.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, and I think a little bit more effort on your guys' part because that's not that far. Nova Scotia.
Yeah,
you guys
maybe
should
when COVID calms down, maybe we'll meet in the middle somewhere, like Toronto or something.
Yeah, you have to get a passport and shit. Yeah, no. friends off, Marty. I'm sorry, I can't do that. We got one McLaurin, Kuti, Richie, James, Gage, Sanders, McKissick, Bowden, Gus Edwards. Man, that is sad, Justin. I'm sorry, man.
That's a rough spot. I'm hoping that's reflects and everybody else is far better. But I mean, McLaurin, I think he's earned must start tag right now with Alex Smith there. He was a little disappointing, but now Alex Smith is gone and Haskins is at quarterback. I think he's just going to force feed McLaurin and try to up his stats to show that he's a starting quarterback caliber type player. McLaurin's going to have to be the guy right off the bat.
Yeah, it's a matchup against Seattle too. So I'm with you. I know it's boring TV to keep on agreeing, but McLaurin's easily the answer for me. He's must-start status. The only other guy I may consider, and this is literally like if you only need 5 points and you only need 5 points, McKissick is pretty consistent with his receptions. So, but still, that would be like if you knew you only needed 5 points and that's what you wanted, McKissick. But McLaurin is must-start status for me.
Now, I see a Sanders there. Is that a Miles Sanders? Because if that's Miles Sanders, I think that changes the scenario a little bit because
I assumed in my head Emmanuel Sanders. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, Emmanuel Sanders would be a semi-decent play with no Michael Thomas. But, I mean, Miles Sanders, he goes against Arizona. That is a beatable matchup. And Miles Sanders has shown that he could break a big one on anybody. And if he does, then he's going to have a massive game.
There was a lot of Miles Sanders hate this offseason, and I just don't. I think he's one, as much as it hates me to say this about an Eagle, I think he's one of the best running backs in the league. He was only getting 5 carries a game when he was averaging 5.7 yards per carry. So no wonder the Eagles were struggling. And it seems like they finally, with Hurts being able to keep the drives going, with being able to tuck and run and continue, get a first down with his feet instead of Wentz trying to play hero ball, the stock on Sanders is only going up.
And I mean, Miles. The issue with Miles Sanders was that he fumbles very often. That turned a lot of people away. But he's held on to the ball a lot more this year, which is something we like to see. But
it is Emmanuel Sanders. It is Emmanuel.
It is Emmanuel Sanders. Okay, never mind. Okay, McLaurin's the guy. Never mind.
Scary Karen.
Yeah, but I thought it was Colonel Sanders, so you guys are one step ahead.
Hey, I like some Colonel Sanders. Nothing wrong with that.
George asks, he can't believe John Elway didn't take my call. And I agree, George. I mean, and he says
that blows my mind.
And actually, yes, John Elway has actually picked me to do a free throw in a basketball game one time in Casper, Wyoming. So
you guys are basically family friends now.
I mean, he should have known. He's like, oh, it's that kid when he was 8 years old. I picked him to do this thing. Yeah. So come on, John Elway, listen to me next time when I find another Josh Allen when he comes around.
He's off the Christmas card list is what it sounds like.
Isn't Josh Allen, doesn't he fit all the criteria that John Elway is looking for in a quarterback?
I mean, that was the thing to me that really surprised me, and I really don't understand. I mean, Bradley Chubb is a great, great defensive end, right? Don't get me wrong. He was a great grab. But I feel like when you talk about positional play and things like that, I mean, a defensive end is almost a dime a dozen when you consider like a quarterback with a football IQ. And exactly like the guy that will step back and sit in the pocket and throw the football just like John Elway used to. But he can use his legs if he needs to, but he doesn't necessarily need to. And I mean, granted, he had mechanical issues at the beginning, but there was nothing that you saw out of him that couldn't really be coached out by the NFL. And we're seeing that. I mean, we're seeing him apply that strategy today, and he's tearing it up. I mean, he's literally just having his way with the NFL. And I mean, there's only like Patrick Mahomes is the only person I think that's better than Josh Allen right now. I think every other quarterback's looking up to those two guys right now. And I think that's how it's probably going to be in the NFL for a good time now. For maybe the next 10 years about.
Aaron Rodgers would have something to say to that.
And Aaron Rodgers does he kind of comes in there as that, oddly enough, the sleeper of the category because he's been tearing it up all year.
And everybody was off of him.
But maybe I'm just not so have great expectations about his future as much as I do say like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen in this instance, because they drafted his replacement. But Aaron Rodgers isn't going anywhere, and he is a champion. There's a chance he's going to go and win the Super Bowl this year. He's a guy that can actually beat Patrick Mahomes, I think.
I don't. Well, team wise, I don't think Green Bay team is that good. I'm gonna label them as just like last year's, where they had a good record, but when it came to playoff time, they kind of got demolished.
Yeah, they still have to get by the Saints too.
It helped them so much with drafting a quarterback they're not using and drafting a running back they're not using. That really helped with the push.
Absolutely.
Well, it helped my Aaron Jones stock, therefore I like it.
There you
go. Marty Assey says Juju or CEH PPR. He had Allen last night, and he only gave him a few points.
CEH.
About Brandon Allen, and I don't know why you start him in the Bills game.
No, he's talking about Josh. That's my home league that we're talking about. I told you we're in each other's home leagues now. He's going up again, and I know he needs upside in this matchup. He's going up against number 1 seed, hasn't lost a game this season. He's got Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara that he's going against, so he needs upside.
I think CEH has to be the guy. Because what's Juju's upside? 70 yards and a touchdown, maybe? The touchdown's not even guaranteed at this point. He's so touchdown dependent. He's yards dependent, and he's not really getting either. CEH, while he doesn't get the touchdowns, he's not touchdown dependent. He's getting fantasy points through yards, and I think that's a good upside potential because all he has to do is get a touchdown to really add that cherry on top.
See, I don't know. As much as I was a CEH truther, a lot of guys I know, George was firmly against CEH, but I was a CEH truther from the get-go. But you know what? It's a tough matchup. New Orleans gives up the second fewest points to opposing running backs. This offense runs through, Kelsey and Hill. CEH is probably the floor play. I think, like you said, he's not getting the touchdowns and he's still producing some decent stats. But that's the thing. He's not getting the touchdowns. He hasn't got done in the red zone. Juju's been pretty decent. Past couple over the last 5 games, he's had 3 of his last 5 over 17 points. Week 9, 21 points. Week 10, 22 points. 11 and 13 were stinkers, but 12 he had 17. 14 he had 17. And the Cincinnati defense is pretty terrible. So for me, I'm going to go with Juju. If you're looking for upside, the safe play is CEH. I will definitely agree there. But I think Juju has a higher upside and a much lower much lower floor. He could easily get 3-4 points. So it's definitely a upside play.
Divisional games can be a little wild sometimes. Sometimes Cincinnati they could just come out of nowhere and play a team pretty tough. And a lot of football nerds out there know that the Steelers kind of play down to their opponent and somehow, just some way, just play terrible against terrible teams. I'm afraid they'll do it again on Monday night.
Yeah, see, and for me, it's a volume play, and specifically a volume play. I agree with the Saints being very, very good against the run, but I do feel like CEH gets enough of the catches. It's not very many, but it's enough to get the volume. Where Juju just hasn't been that dependable guy. Although I do agree he has been looking better lately, but it's just so hit or miss. He can just, if Deontay Johnson decides he's going to have himself a day, and then Claypool
actually catch the ball
and actually catches the ball, then Juju becomes a non-existent person on that football field. So for me, I'm going to go with the running back every time here. So for me, it's CEH for sure. We got Josh Whedon. What's up, Jaws? We got picking up between Kuti Bowden and Emmanuel Sanders. Wilson Jr. is on the wire.
I'm not going Wilson Jr., especially with Raheem Mostert playing. Kiki QT and Emmanuel Sanders are going to be the only 2 options I'm thinking about. But against the Chiefs defense that has been pretty good, and he's going to be the number 1, so they're going to focus on him a lot more. I'm going to have to go Kiki QT.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Wilson call. I was really looking forward to. I picked him up in a couple places that looking like Mostert was going to be out because it's a great matchup against Dallas. But when Mostert's in there, you can't trust Shanahan. He plays those Shanahanigans with the running back position. You just can't trust it. I could see Wilson easily having a good game, but in this position, you don't want to risk it. And it comes down to the same two for me with QT or Sanders. Let me see, QT. Who's Houston play again?
Indianapolis.
They got a tough matchup too in Indianapolis.
He's not the number one. I think that's my thing. Is right now, that defense is going to focus on Brandon Cooks, leave him a lot of wide open. Right now, I trust Deshaun Watson more than I trust Drew Brees because we don't know how healthy he is. He could be taken on at any moment.
You wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see Taysom Hill play plenty. So you make a really good point there. And with that being said, I'm going to agree with you with QT. I would not be surprised. And there's been rumors that on the goal line, they're going to take Brees out. They're going to dial up more plays for Hill than they would normally when Brees has been active. So I agree with you. I think he's definitely the safer play with pretty much a similar upside.
And I completely agree too. I like QT in that instance. I don't like Bowden. If Parker doesn't play, I might lean more towards him. But
and they said, I saw this morning he is going to be active.
Yeah, but it did look like he was playing, so that's why I'm basically out on him. So we got Molka Jettis 18, half PPR, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Fournette, or Hines, first flex.
Let's see, half PPR, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Fournette, or Hines for flex. I think Brandon Cooks is going to be the safest and probably the best option. I mean, David Johnson, he's just not getting it done. Hines, I mean, he's technically the backup running back, but he's still getting some fantasy points. So you can't really knock him out of the equation just yet. But I think Brandon Cooks is a step ahead of everybody just due to how much he's been producing with Will Fuller being out.
Yep. Like I said, hate to keep agreeing, but I think it's the right call too. Fournette's going to get the majority of the touches with Ronald Jones being out, but Fournette really hasn't looked that good, and it's a tough matchup against the Falcons. They've given up the seventh fewest fantasy points to running backs. I think that's more because everybody can throw on them, so they don't have to run the ball. But I could see a situation where Tom Brady just airs it out, and Fournette, he might get a touchdown on the goal line, but I would much rather roll with Brandon Cooks and his upside.
There we go.
And I'm actually going to disagree with you too. I'd go Nyheim Hines here. That guy has just been getting the job done week in, week out. Again, nothing sexy or huge or anything like that, but enough for me to where I want to get that volume play. I know I can at least get 12 to 15 with a big boom potential of that guy being able to knock out 25, 30 points, and especially with the matchup that he's got. So I really expect Indianapolis to really be able to ball out and just get the job done. So I got to go with him. I got to go with him.
If it was full PPR, I might lean a little more towards Hines, but that half PPR is what kind of shied me away from him.
Yeah, I mean, Houston just has had just a tough time shutting down pass down backs. I mean, I know they're pretty decent against the run because Watt's still alive, but I still like Hines a lot today. The George Reed asks, is CEH the 101 in startups in 2021?
No, he shouldn't even be in the first round, in my opinion.
I think that's a troll from George because he was hard and heavy when what's his name, Damian Williams went out. CEH did go to the 101 status, and that was, as much as I am a CEH truther, I was not that guy. I was happy when I was getting him in the third round when everybody thought Damian Williams was going to be a thing because
I feel like
just a guy.
Yeah, I feel like I've loved CEH appropriately the whole entire season. Like when he was going in the third round, perfect. Like that's exactly what I'm huge value because there's huge potential that he could be the dominant back there. But once he started creeping up past the second round, I'm like, he's lost all his value. You do not want to get this guy in the first round because you don't want to draft a rookie in the first round. So, I mean, next year, I think it's going to be more of the same. I think we're going to need to see a little bit more out of CEH on that football field before we can start confidently getting him out there. And I really feel like he's going to be a third year back. I really don't feel like we're going to see a good dose of him even next year. I think he's going to be kind of like Derrick Henry. He's going to come out of his third year with a good understanding. I think Jonathan Taylor fits this exact same facade where you can just get out there and be the dominant guy. And but it takes time. You've got to learn the system. You got to learn exactly what these linebackers are doing against you. You got to learn exactly what these defensive coordinators are doing against you. And once you start getting more of that and smarter each week, you become more dominant. But not next year, I don't think is even going to be the year. And I agree. If he's in the first round, I'm out. If he's at the late tail end of the second round, I feel like I might be getting into CEH right about then.
They're just too pass heavy, in my opinion. When Patrick Mahomes is quarterback and he's limited to 10 to 15 touches a game, there's only so much you can do within that time frame. It's not like a Jonathan Taylor who actually has a more of a run first to, even pass heavy offense in order for him to get those carries. But as long as they're passing more than running, like the way the Chiefs are right now, I feel like there's just not much he can do.
Yeah, and I mean, Travis Kelce is the check down back. Let's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Until that changes, I can agree with that statement.
Well, I saw, man, CEH was going behind Nick Chubb. Going ahead of Nick Chubb, Miles Sanders. Like, it just blows my mind. And that's fantasy 101. You're drafting the guy at peak value. He has to be that stud to get there. You don't want to take, that.
Oh, I was going to say, and let's look at Justice Hill last year. I mean, how high was everybody on Justice Hill? And now I want to know is anybody getting rid of him in Dynasty right now? Because I want to know what you're getting for a Justice Hill right now in Dynasty. Like, I bet you he's on most of your waiver wires, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
He says Josh Whedon had both of his opponents had Devontae Adams. It's funny. I told the guy to sit Adams yesterday. I was like, I don't like that cornerback situation. I don't like I go, but you can't ever say sit Adams. And I was right. We got a 32 team single copy league. His only options are Breeze or Taysom.
You got to start Breeze.
You got to start Breeze, right? Because I don't know. I can almost start Taysom Hill in this instance because I feel like he has more potential to get the scoring done. I feel like he's the guy that's going to come out and just get in the end zone, where I feel like Drew Brees could easily give you a 126 and nothing today, like 126 yards in the air.
Yeah, but if Breeze goes off and you leave him on your bench for Taysom Hill, that's pretty stupid.
All he's got to do is dump the ball off to Kamara, and he's going to do the rest. So, it's definitely Breeze.
Yep. Okay.
If they came out and announced something like it's going to be a 50-50 split, then I might lean towards Taysom Hill. But with Breeze getting the start, going into the playoffs, they're going to want to get him back in the swing of things. So I think he's going to be fine. And like I said, I expect Alvin Kamara to go off. He's just going to dump the ball off to him and let him do the rest.
Right. Who do you keep next year, CEH or Dobbins? From our boy Beamer Cleena.
CEH. Just because he's on a better team, in my opinion. And if that's the case, you want the best running back on the best teams. And he fits both those bills.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't feel like you're really talking about too different of an opportunity here. I think you have we have a run first team, but the quarterback is the guy who runs first in the majority of the options. So for me, you're really not too far off. And for me, CEH is a way more talented running back.
Yeah. And two, I know that Mark Ingram's a free agent. I think Gus Edwards is a free agent too, but Baltimore's shown that they like to have multiple running backs involved. So you have that. Then, like you said, you've got Lamar Jackson likes to run the ball. I hope they turn the backfield over to Dobbins because I think he's got the talent to do it. He's looked the most electric out of any of the running backs, but I'm still concerned that they bring in a veteran and, still kind of rotate these guys in and out. And CEH, even with Bell, it's his backfield. So it's definitely CEH for me.
There we go.
Absolutely. We got Goff versus the Jets or Russ versus the Washington football team.
It always takes me a second when I read WTF.
I know, hold on.
Well, I'm like, does that say what the?
This is a tough one because Washington football team, they're going to sack Russell Wilson a decent amount. And if your league subtracts points for sacks, I'd have to go with Goff because I'm expecting 4 or 5 sacks for Russell Wilson this game. Weak offensive line versus a strong defensive line equals not a good time. I'm going to have to go Goff against the Jets.
This is a really, really, really tough question, but because I love Goff. I wrote about him a couple weeks ago that I think he's going to be on a lot of championship rosters with their schedule. But I can't sit Russell Wilson. If it was like you were talking about divisional games, Russell Wilson, as the past couple of years, has had a hard time with the Rams. And if it was against the Rams, somebody like that, yeah, I would probably make this move. But I'm still going Russell Wilson in this matchup. I do expect him to get sacked, have some turnovers, but I still think he's going to cook.
I agree. I like Goff today against the Jets, although I do feel like Russell Wilson is the more solid play. I feel like he's going to rip up the football team. I feel like Seattle's just got a big game coming out of them today. They've had one brewing for some time now. With that, guys, we have got a caller. Caller, you're on with the Blitz. What's your name? Where are you from?
Good morning, guys. It's Froggy B. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's happening, Froggy B? What's up, man?
How we doing?
What's chilling? So, pretty good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
We're making it.
Yep. Week 15,
cool,
buddy.
cool.
We're getting ready to go grab that trophy here in a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm hinging right now. I'm like, I'm right there. I barely made it through. So I got two questions. I was dumb and I sat Justin Herbert just because of the past 2 weeks. I tried to get cute in my roster, so I sat him. I had Taysom Hill on the bench. Of course, he's not playing, so they go to the waivers, and basically I'm trying to figure out what quarterback to play. I got Baker Mayfield out there, Jared Goff. I was even thinking maybe Mullins against the Cowboys.
No.
Or even Drew Brees.
You said it already. It's definitely going to be a matchup.
Goff. Goff has to be the easiest one. Good matchup. The Jets actually, they're not too bad against the run. They're not that shabby against the run. So I think Goff, he's going to try to put up some numbers, try to throw on the Jets. I think he's the guy you got to pick up.
Okay, I'll run Jared Goff out there. And then my second question is, I'm kind of confused on what tight end to play just because of quarterback play. I got Dallas Goedert and I got Logan Thomas. But out there is the tight end from the Vikings. I can't think of his name right now.
Herb Smith.
Herb Smith, yeah. So he's out there. I got Dalton Schultz. So I'm just trying to figure out who, maybe even Jared Cook. But I'm not really comfortable playing Dallas Goedert or Logan Thomas with quarterback play. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who to run with.
With Drew Brees back, Jared Cook is not a bad option, but it is a risky play. That is a potential getting too cute type of start, and we don't really want to do that. So Irv Smith, he seems like a really good option here, considering the matchup, the touchdown potential, and the ability to rack up fantasy points where you wouldn't really expect it.
Yeah, and I think with Kyle Rudolph being out, Irv Smith offers both a pretty safe floor and still gives you that upside that you're looking for. It's a good matchup. Chicago gives up a lot of points to the tight end position, the third most on the season. So for me, I'm going to go Irv Smith as well.
Yeah, give me Irv Smith by a mile. I absolutely love Irv Smith this week. I think this is going to be a shootout. I know everyone's thinking NFC North smash mouth. That's not how these guys play. Irv Smith's going to eat today. He has been an absolute stud every time Rudolph's been out, and he is a yards after catch monster against a pathetic Chicago Bears defense, as Jay pointed out, against the tight end.
I know what you guys are thinking, that dirty jobs, did he move to the New England? But no, Daddy's Home FF joined us. Man, what is happening, Mike? How we doing this morning?
Oh, man, my morning is crazy. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
I'm waiting for my coffee. I still haven't had any. And I'm seeing you three drinking them, and I'm so jealous right now.
I'm on like number 3, I think.
Thank you. This is number 2 for me. So
see, we went over this earlier, and I thought I was crazy for having only 1 cup of coffee a day, and I thought that was too much. But you guys are beating me by miles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Told you, the kids, man.
That's it. That's my life fuel. With that, we got another call. Caller, what's your name? Where you from? It's Curtis, baby.
What's up, guys? It's Curtis.
Hey, Curtis, what's happening, brother?
How we doing?
What's up, man? Everything all right, man. I had a few questions for you. You kind of answered one question with the call you just had. Cause I was to ask you who you like better between Irv Smith and Jared Cook. And you kind of gave me an answer with Irv Smith. So I'm gonna roll with him instead.
There we go. I like to see that.
Go I like that call.
All right, guys. What is with the news with freaking James Conner? I don't know what's going on with him. I kind of don't feel comfortable playing him no more because I mean he's questionable for Monday. Played last week, was garbage. It's the championship round. I ain't trying to get too cute, but if he shit the bed, I will lose. It's a guarantee. He shit the bed out. It is a guaranteed loss. It's not even a question. So I'm debating on sitting him because he plays Monday. If I wait to Monday and he don't play, I have no option. So I kind of feel like sitting him and playing Raheem Mostert instead. You guys cool with that?
Yeah, I think even if he was healthy, I would tell you to play Raheem Mostert over James Conner regardless. I think against a balanced defense, against technically a must-win for the Niners if they want to keep their playoff chances alive, Raheem Mostert is going to eat, and he's going to get a lot of yards.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I definitely agree. You're going to play Mostert here. Just temper your expectations. One of the things that Dallas is actually good at is up the middle. So you got to hope that they get him involved a little bit in the screen game. That's where they're giving up a good amount of points. They have been weak as of late, but it's still a matchup that I think with Jeffrey Wilson involved too. If you get vultured a couple times, it's going to be okay. Now, the reason why I say Mostert is because James Conner is just not good at football anymore. Plain and simple. Let's just call it what it is. He's giving you absolutely nothing.
Oh, no, I completely.
Yeah, so you've been living it, right?
I am done with James Conner.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah. So sorry, this is where I think Mostert's the play. I just get worried where he's been injured. That if they go with Jeffrey Wilson, that we could have some troubles. But realistically, I mean, after what the Vikings, the football team, and the Ravens did to the Cowboys, it's definitely inflated their numbers a bit. They've been up and down, but I do think Mostert will get his. I would guess probably 80 and a touchdown would be James Conner's best game, probably went the last 8 weeks, if I had to guess. So
James Conner is just so unreliable, and he's hurt too. It's not like Raheem Mostert's hurt, so you're kind of questioning whether you want to start the healthier bet. They're both hurt, both game time decisions. But I mean, Raheem Mostert, we know that he's going to start, and I mean, like the caller Curtis just said, if Conner does not play and he potentially starts, James Conner, then he's double screwed. And in the semis, you really don't want to put yourself in that situation. Just put Mostert in, give yourself some peace of mind.
Yeah, you got to take the safe play, the guy that you know is going to play. And even though, too, to elaborate on what Mike said, Dallas, as bad as their defense is, they've given up the 7th fewest fantasy points to opposing running backs. So you can't take that risk, and you got to roll with Mostert.
I got you. All right, Dan. Quick question for Flex as well. I'm looking at between Amari Cooper and Emmanuel Sanders, full PPR.
I'm going to have to go Emmanuel Sanders. I chose Drew Brees more than I trust Andy Dalton. And the matchup isn't that much better for either one, but I trust Emmanuel Sanders a little bit more.
I'm going to go Cooper. I'm going to go Cooper on this one. Breeze's first game back. I want to say Sanders, and for some reason my head's saying Sanders, my heart is saying Traquan Smith, so my mouth is going to say Amari Cooper. That's kind of how I'm going to play this. I definitely think they're close. I just think that Cooper is a guy, especially if you're looking for that kind of home run game. Cooper has a chance of being the wide receiver one every time out, and he's actually been a little bit more stable than we're used to. And with Andy Dalton, he's still putting up some decent numbers there. I just think that what you're looking at from Cooper, he's got touchdowns in his last 3. He's been busting out a few 100-yard games. He's actually been a decent floor play, which is unusual for Amari Cooper. Last year, we wouldn't have said that. He was a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 4, but lately he's been a decent floor play. I'm going to keep rolling until he proves he can't do it. If this is the week, I'm sorry. But I think right now, touchdowns in 3 games leads me Cooper.
Yeah, it's hard as it is to say that Cooper has been the floor play. He's only had 2 games all season that he's fell under double-digit points. And the last one has come week 8 against Philly. He can make your day with one play, and that's what you're looking for. And Kansas City's a tough matchup for opposing wide receivers. They've given up the second fewest points. With the question marks with Drew Brees, who knows if Taysom Hill is going to be involved. I'm going to go with Cooper as well.
All right, looks like I'm outvoted 2-1. Cooper is the man.
You get a nice "I told you so" tweet when Sanders goes up.
All right, guys. Last question, right quick. For PPR, who you like better, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, or Calvin Ridley?
Calvin Ridley, I think, is the best receiver and the best option. No Julio Jones. I don't think there's a game where Calvin Ridley did not eat when he wasn't hurt, and I have to go him at all costs.
So I got to ask who the other options are, because I don't know how you're getting away from Calvin Ridley or Allen Robinson this week. I'm going to agree Calvin Ridley is 1, Allen Robinson 2, and Cooper Kupp's 3, but they should all be starters.
This was like a top heavy league where my wide receiver 1 was Tyreek Hill, and my wide receiver 2 was DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
so you don't need us. Congratulations on the championship. But yeah, I mean it's Ridley, Robinson, Kupp in that order, and my goodness, I don't know how your opponent's going to keep up.
Yeah,
as long as he's got some running backs to keep up with.
They should all 3 have a good game. I'm going to differentiate a little bit. I'm going to go with Allen Robinson. I just like the matchup a little more, even though it is a divisional matchup. Minnesota's defense is terrible. Their secondary is awful. And Allen Robinson has gotten 13 targets in 2 of the last 3 games. He has, even with as terrible as their quarterback position has been, he's performed. So for me, I'm going to lean Allen Robinson.
I could see it. I don't blame you for it.
And I love Calvin Ridley too. Like, I'm starting him in a couple places. I think he's on his way to being a stud, but
I think they're both on the same talent wise. And when that's the case, you go to the quarterback. I like Matt Ryan a whole lot more.
Oh, I'm gonna differentiate there and say I like Trubisky more this week. I just like Ridley without Julio Jones. Ryan broke my heart last week. He got me knocked out of 2 championships, so he's done for me. I can't anymore. He killed me.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I actually think Trubisky's a sneaky play this week, but I think Ridley goes off. I think 15 targets are not even within the realm of possibility. I think it's almost a certainty.
Alrighty, so 2-1 Ridley.
So we're going Robinson, or are we going Robinson, or are we going Ridley?
It was 2-1 Ridley.
2-1.
2-1 Ridley.
All right, 2-1 Ridley. All right, then, guys. Appreciate the help. Good luck to everybody out there.
Good luck.
Take it down.
Good luck.
Good luck, Curtis.
All right, man.
All right, guys. Thanks. And with that, we have ourselves another call. Caller, you're on with the Blitz. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, guys. You're talking to Marcus from Michigan.
Hey, Marcus. How we doing today?
Doing pretty good, guys. I appreciate you guys doing the show. I'm a listener. I usually visit into YouTube. I'm Mankus Brogan in YouTube. But I had a question for you guys. It's some players you guys have already talked about today. So, short answer is kind of fine. The first one is PPR, Lockett, Boyd, Claypool, or Manny Sanders. Lockett all year, and I'm kind of starting to lean Manny just because, MT gone and everything. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Lockett is the highest ceiling here. I mean, he could go off for 2 touchdowns and 100 yards, and he could win you your week. It all kind of depends if that's what you're looking for. But Boyd, while he is a good safe option, I don't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers or the quarterback to help him on his cause. So I'm going to ask to stay away from him. And then the other options, sorry, they eluded me.
Claypool and Manny Sanders.
Claypool and Emmanuel Sanders. Claypool, he's the number 3 option on that team. While he's been a highly productive number 3 option, I have a hard time recommending him. And then Emmanuel Sanders, while he looks safe, we just don't necessarily know that quarterback situation. I like him personally, but I think Lockett for me is who I would roll out.
We are eventually going to agree. This is not going to be that time though. The Washington football team, I just, that defense has been so outstanding. They've been giving up really a high watermark of 220 yards to all the wide receivers combined. You still have Metcalf there. I mean, that team is just not one that's giving up a ton of points. I would say ceiling wise, I'm actually going to go Claypool here with the matchup. He is going to be the guy that I think is boom or bust. There are a bunch of options there. So I would say if you're comfortable with your matchup, and this is going to sound weird because I just went against him in the last one. If you're comfortable with your matchup and just need a floor, it's Manny Sanders. If you're looking upside, it's Chase Claypool. But Lockett, if you just take a look at his numbers, he has been really more disappointing than I would have liked, which kills me because I'm just such a huge fan of the player and what he's been over the course of his career. But I want to say he's been a wide receiver one, twice this year. He just isn't getting it done. He hasn't topped 100 yards since October, and he's got a tough matchup. So I'm staying away from him. So I'm going floor Sanders. If you really are swinging for the fences, though, like you played against Josh Allen, for example, or Darren Waller, that's where I'm going Claypool in hopes he gets one of those cheap 3-touchdown games against a pathetic defense in the Bengals.
I'm with you guys on Sanders being a safe play. But again, he's safe, but we also don't know what Drew Brees is going to look like with 11 fractured ribs or something along those lines. So it could be, Taysom Hill could get involved. Lockett and Claypool are both the ceiling plays, and they both have a pretty low floor. I'm going to go with Lockett just because nothing more than I've got a gut feeling that he's due. Everybody's putting him down. I think Russ is going to have a better game than a lot of people think. He's going to turn the ball over. He's going to get hit. That front seven on Washington is just unbelievable. But I feel like he's the number 2 versus Claypool being the number 3 in that offense. So I'm going to lean Lockett. I would not disagree with going with Claypool either. He's got probably at this point he's got a higher ceiling than Claypool. Than Lockett. But I like Lockett this week.
All right, so you got 2 people for Lockett, 1 for Claypool, and I don't know if you guys just saw the breaking news. David just popped it up as well. Zeke is inactive, so we can start talking about the Pollard questions, Mike, that are about to flow in. I'm guessing that'll probably be the rest of the show now.
We're going to see if Pollard's available in this league that I'm in, so let's see.
Oh man, take a quick peek.
Go ahead and do your thing, but it's still a brutal matchup, guys. This isn't one that. Man, the Niners, that's a tough one. I got a debate between now Chark and Pollard and Flex, but the Niners have been tough.
The play there myself, I like Tony Pollard a little bit, but I just feel like every single time he gets the opportunity to go out there and do something, he lets me down. I mean, now lets me down being a number like 12 to 14, right? Like I feel like I can pull down that 12 to 14 every single time, but I don't feel like I can rely on him to give me anything more than that, So I feel like that's his ceiling, not so much his floor, but his ceiling. So I don't really feel like he's that sexy of an option. I feel like there's just so many better people I could put there. Chark being one of those guys. I mean, I know it's at Baltimore, but I do like Chark a lot still today.
And their whole secondary has got COVID, I think. So, yeah, and just so we can get ahead of these questions here, the 49ers give up an average of 75 yards and half a touchdown a game on the ground, even less through the air. This is not a team that you want to be putting your playoff hopes on a backup running back. It's just not how you beat the 49ers. They are a stout defense. They've given up 100 yards to a total of 100 yards rushing when you factor in all the running backs involved, only twice on the season. No running back individually has a 100-yard game against them, and they haven't given up a rushing touchdown in 2 games now. So I just think that this is a team that you want to avoid. And again, we talk about don't get cute, play your studs. Tony Pollard is not a stud.
I'm going to have to agree there. We're going to get a lot of questions on this. I feel like we're going to start looking like a parrot repeating ourselves on a daily.
Absolutely.
Well, like you said, Mike, too, I feel like Madison kind of falls in that category, too, that everybody's like, oh, he's a stud backup. And he goes in. And he's decent. Like you said, 10, 12 points, no problem, but just doesn't have that next level ceiling that you would expect with the hype that surrounds these guys.
Nope.
Sometimes you're a backup for a reason, and that's
Right.
because the guy in front of you is just better.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. Okay, so we got Justin with 49ers, Titans, or Dolphins. Tackles for loss is worth 3, and outs and return yards count.
Dolphins, no question. They are one of the best defenses out right now, and they have a great matchup against New England. I can't trust the Niners defense, even though they are a good defense. They don't cause turnovers to get you fantasy points. The Titans, I think they just have a really bad defense, in my personal opinion. I would not roll them out there. And I mean, the Dolphins against New England, I can't say no to that matchup.
It hurts me because I'm a Pats fan, but it's not even close. The DeAndre Swift will score more points than the entire Patriots offense this week. Let's just call it what it is. The Titans defense is soft as Charmin. There's no way I'm ever trusting them. They get gashed through the air. They get gashed in the ground. And the hero, Matthew Stafford, is playing this week. I agree on the Niners defense. Dalton's still a gunslinger. I really hate those types of players because you have 3 stud wide receivers. He hits on 1 or 2 of those, you're in trouble. The Dolphins are the guaranteed play and honestly a must start in fantasy football every week from what I can see.
Yeah, a little fun stat is that if you own the Dolphins defense, there was a 57% chance of you making playoffs this year. I think me owning the Dolphins in multiple leagues can prove that statement.
Love it.
You guys said it all. I completely agree. It's Dolphins and it's not close.
Let's see. We got any more questions?
Yep. Sorry about that. Nope. I kind of just, I was,
Well, and I was going to say too, I wanted to mention that Mike is a member of the exclusive Cole Kmet Club, so I wanted to throw that out there. We were bringing him up earlier.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were talking about me. I was like,
I forgot. I look at you. I see dirty jobs. I don't even think Mike.
That's perfectly fine. Minnie Jordan 718 says PPR, choose a running back and a flex. Says the running backs are Swift, Sony, DeAndre Washington, or Wilson. The wide receivers are Deontay, Chark, and Antonio Brown.
I'm gonna have to go Swift and Deontay. I think just plain and simple, they're the best running back and wide receiver combo that you have on your team. And I'm going to recommend you put them out there. I think they're the only ones that are actually going to get some meaningful touches and meaningful playing time. There would be the 2 I'd roll out.
Yeah, Swift doesn't belong in this group of running backs. He just doesn't. You're talking 3 dart throws and a stud. DeAndre Swift is a top 5 running back this week. I will put that down in paint if we have to. Make sure everyone hears it. That's my boy. Has the matchup. Absolutely.
I know you love some DeAndre Swift.
Oh, I love DeAndre Swift more than at least one of my kids. And the next one on the list is really it's Deontay and Chark. I'm going to go Chark. There's just too much question with Deontay. What happens if he drops the first pass? I think Deontay Johnson is literally, his range of outcomes is larger than any player. If he was the overall wide receiver 1 this week, I wouldn't be surprised. And if he was the 4th option in the Steelers offense, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know which way they're going to go. On my podcast, I called them a smash start because I think they're going to try to get him right. But I think Chark has a little bit more safety of the guaranteed targets with Minshew back. So I'm going to go Chark, but it's dang close.
I mean, Deontay, he missed half the game last week. Buffalo to being benched, and he still ended up with the most targets on the team.
And he dropped half of them.
He dropped half of them.
That's the problem. You got to know how to catch. I just think it's mental with him right now. And when you have a player with the yips, it tends to carry. I'm just not. If it was Deontay or AB, it's Deontay by a mile. I just think Chark is an option that's going to have the same amount of targets and be a safer play.
Chark goes against the Ravens. Does that alter your opinion? Or
no? We just talked about that. The Ravens' entire secondary is out. Like I think all of them are sick, if I'm not mistaken. The Ravens are not a defense that you have to worry about this particular week because of the injury report. If they had their whole secondary back, I would say Deontay. But this week, I believe 4 of them, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe possibly even all 4 starters or 3 of the 4 of them might be out.
Yeah, I think the only thing they activated was off of the wide receiver core. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything on the defensive side of the ball being activated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's really a big problem. You have Marcus Peters out, Jimmy Smith out. Calais Campbell questionable. Jihad Ward out. Christian Welch out. Yeah, they have basically all defenders and whatchamacallit, they have all defenders and Mark Ingram out this week. So it's all the defensive side of the ball is what didn't get activated. They did activate, like I said, Hollywood Brown was activated. So Willie Snead's a little questionable as a play this week, but the defense all stayed out from what I can tell.
Well, Willie Snead's a questionable play every week, but
he is, but he was looking like a decent, sneaky DFS play.
Well, I definitely agree with you guys on the Swift call. It's not even close. I wouldn't hesitate there. I'm going to lean Johnson here. I just don't trust Chark. Believe it or not, I was actually wrong. I said earlier, I thought that even though with Minshew back in there, that Chark would target him more. He actually has better games when Minshew is out. Our boy, another club that Mike and I are both members of, is the LaVisca Chenault fan club. It's actually a bump for his value. So I think he's a sneaky play as a flex. But even as with the drops that Johnson's had, he's had 3 out of the past 6 games over 20 points. Last week was the only game they had under double digits. Chark hasn't had a double-digit game since week 9, and he's only had a couple this year. I feel like even with the drops, Johnson's a safer play and has a higher upside as well.
All right, 2 out of 3 again.
Okay. All right, what else?
We got George Reed saying 16-team league, Bowden or Connor?
Bowden by a mile. Not even close.
But
George.
I just can't trust Connor, and that's really sad to say. I thought Connor would be a elite young talent. He's the opposite of that as of right now. Bowden seems like the safest guy.
Came through. Devontae Parker is inactive, so it's Bowden by a mile.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Tom S. asks, Drake or Edwards?
Gus Edwards.
Kenyon Drake.
Yeah,
would be the guy I have to go. I mean, he's the number 1 RB. Gus Edwards, he's not the number 1 RB, and right now it looks like Chase Edmonds is not playing as of right now. Looks like he's trending that way, meaning Kenyon Drake is going to get a whole lot of touches.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake has been as safe as they come recently. I mean, he has been nothing short of automatic, which scares me because I just don't like the player. But Kenyon Drake is putting in numbers. He's been scoring. He's got touchdowns in his past 4 games, including a 2-touchdown game. I don't know how you get away from him. He's a running back 1 right now.
I can't imagine you sitting him at any scenario. I can't imagine you having better running backs than Kenyon Drake.
Yep. A clean sweep. I completely agree. And I saw that even if Chase Edmonds does somehow play, he's definitely going to be limited. He hasn't done much even when he's been completely active. So definitely going to go with Drake on this one.
Excellent. And just a reminder, folks, if you guys want to get in front of these questions, you can always just give us a call at 205-797-3557 or 205-79-SLEEP, and you can hop right in the front of the line. We're going to go ahead and go with Jeff B. Evans 7 says, PPR, Bowden or Russell Gage, Pats defense or 49ers. So we'll go with PPR, Bowden or Russell Gage first.
Oh, that's a close one. I mean, I like Russell Gage. I think he's safer than Bowden. I mean, this could have been a flash in the pan by the rookie who just got cut by the Raiders in the beginning of the season. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I just feel safe with Russell Gage.
Yeah, it's not close for me. It's Gage. He's safe. He's got the upside. He should have a solid floor with Julio being out. I like Bowden if you're in a pinch and you need somebody, but it's Gage pretty easily for me.
Yeah, there won't be enough passing yards. This is a rookie quarterback against the Belichick defense that just never goes well. You saw it with Justin Herbert. You literally see it time and time again. I love Bowden. I love the player. I don't love the matchups. I'm going to go Gage.
And the second part of the question, I'm going to go Niners defense. I think they're just a whole lot more talented than the Patriots. Even though the Patriots do have a great secondary, I sense a slippery Tua Tagovailoa to evade a lot of sacks. Maybe he throws a pick, but I think I trust the Niners defense a little bit more.
I'm going to go Pats. They don't have a running game in Miami right now. Last I checked, is Ahmed active? I hadn't gotten the update on that yet. But the way you beat the Patriots, they do play a base dime defense, which favors the run, and DeAndre Washington is not a very good player. And Belichick literally eats rookie quarterbacks alive. It's what he has done. We have a 20-year track record of it. So if they don't have a running back, I don't know how they're going to score, besides the fact they might have the greatest kicker in the NFL, kicking 60-yard field goals. But I still get a little bit nervous with Andy Dalton maybe hitting. I think there's just more playmakers on the Cowboys team to possibly get loose. What I will say is I don't think you have a bad choice here. They're both great options. I'm going to lean the Pats just because I don't know the Dolphins teams.
Ahmed is officially active.
Ahmed is active, yeah. So, all right, then give me the Niners. With Ahmed active, give me the Niners. If it was Washington, that's how close it was. But since they have an actual running back, I'll take Ahmed. And the Dolphins score a little more than the Cowboys on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a clean sweep for me, too. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Even if Dalton is able to connect with Cooper or CeeDee Lamb for a long touchdown, he's just as likely to throw a pick six. He's going to get hit a bunch. Tony Pollard's back there. There's no Zeke, although Zeke hasn't done much. I like the 49ers defense. I like the guys that they're going up against. Like you said, you really can't go wrong with either one of these options. I lean with the 49ers.
So I'm not going to lie. After you started talking about the Dolphins, I kind of wanted to flip a little bit and say Pat's defense.
They're both literally stud options this week.
They really are.
It's amazing. It's gut feel. I would say if your gut tells you something, it was that close that Ahmed being active. I just think he might pop one in. But yeah, Belichick's going to eat Tua alive. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, and I'm depending on Tua somewhere. So although I agree, it still hurts a little bit when you say that. But.
All right. So what else we got? We got any more questions?
We've got Boz906 says full PPR. He needs two. He's got Connor, Gallman, Mostert, and Jeff Wilson.
Mostert and Gallman, easy.
Mostert and Gallman. I think that's pretty straightforward. Connor, can't trust him. Jeff Wilson, he's the backup to Mostert, so Gallman and Mostert.
Very easy.
I think you should start Wilson and Connor, but your opponent paid me $20. So. Dana says, saw a notification that Zeke is inactive. Does that move Pollard ahead of Gallman and for you in PPR?
Nope.
No.
And that's a fantastic question, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad she came back because I thought about her question earlier. I was like, oh, I hope she sees that Zeke is inactive. But yeah, Gallman's the safer option. He's scored double-digit points in every game that he started. We don't know what we're going to get out of Pollard.
Yeah, and I think the matchup greatly favors Gallman. I think Gallman is a better running back, number one. Number two, you're getting a much better matchup. I mean, literally, you have 200% better chance of a touchdown from the running back position going against the Browns than you do against the Niners. So it's a good question. The matchup is what makes the difference here.
But there is there is that Pollard. He's the only running back there. They don't really have a third or fourth string option right now. Gallman, they have other options.
They do, but they've been going to him, and honestly, he has been unbelievable. If they can get to the red zone, he's been putting it in. I benched him because he had a bad matchup and he broke off an 80-yard run right in my face. I was on here saying bench him. Dirty, you remember that? I was saying everybody against Gallman, and man, I ate it that week. I just think Gallman, I know we have the perception of him. The dude has been a running back one. I mean, that's just what he's been. And that's what I just think until he proves us otherwise, I can't put him on my bench.
That was like the fourth play of the game, too. And I remember me and you were talking on Twitter right after that, and you were like, oh,
I nailed a few of them. I've had some calls. That just wasn't one of them.
That happens to all of us. If we're all doing this 100%, we're all doing this from gold-plated yachts, man. I mean,
exactly.
No
you
doubt.
tell from my background, this is not the back of my gold-plated yacht. This is actually an apartment in the ghetto in Oldmar, Florida. So.
It's still super expensive if it's Florida. Come on.
Dude, I'm telling you what. No, ghetto Florida is pretty nice. We got could plug in Pollard over Kuti or Sanders from our boy Josh Whedon.
Okay.
That's where we're going to go Pollard, I think. Yeah. I like the guaranteed touches.
Yeah, I think Keaty and Sanders are too unreliable. While I still like them, I think Pollard is safer than both of them.
I'd still go with the wide receivers. I don't trust Pollard. We don't know what we're going to get out of him. Granted, he's, the running back is always a safer option because the wide receiver could just not get the targets, but I still like QT and Sanders over Pollard.
All right.
Okay, so we got Tom S. says Hines, Edwards, or Drake full PPR.
Drake.
Drake. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Drake. He's alone back there, pass heavy offense, and he gets all the goal line touches, and he seems to be able to punch it in. I like him a lot.
Okay, Marty asks Crowder, Christian Kirk, or Reynolds PPR. Ooh, this is a good one.
This is a bad one because they're all bad options. Crowder, in my opinion. Christian Kirk, I just can't trust him. He's too boomer bust, but he's mostly bust. Reynolds, he's like the fourth option on the team. Crowder's on the Jets, but like
questionable.
Yeah, if Crowder's healthy, Jay, you looking that up right now? I know that Crowder was questionable, but if he plays, the only way you score points against the Rams is in the slot. So Crowder is the play. If Crowder is not healthy, it's Reynolds, just because the Jets give up 320 yards passing and 3 touchdowns a game, which is actually amazing. They're making Hall of Famers out of everybody. It's not Kirk for me. It's just the Philadelphia secondary is beat up, but I think that favors Hopkins in this particular matchup. So I would go Crowder if he's healthy, Reynolds, and then Kirk.
Crowder's expected to play, so yeah,
all right.
I'm with you guys.
Yeah, so let's go Crowder in the slot against the Rams for me, and then Reynolds, and then Kirk, because I just think it's a Hopkins game.
I feel like he could do better than all 3 of these on the waivers right now.
Most likely.
But all right.
I agree. I think I like these guys, but I think they just all have real bad matchups and real low volume. We got Justin who says Sanders, Nugget, Zerline, Gay Boswell, or Elliott, or Suckup.
It's a keeper question.
I don't even know who Gay kicks for, so that's not
Gay.
I'm going to eliminate him just for not knowing who the heck he is. Sorry,
he's on the Rams.
Oh, yeah, cool. Well, good for you. That'll be a lot of extra points today. I'm going to go Sanders, and I will give you my stamp of approval as he's the only one I know. So I don't do kickers. Sorry, bro.
I'm not the one for a kicker question, so I can't.
Sorry, guys. You guys called me. I'm the kicker expert.
Let's see it.
See, I'm fully on team kickers, so it would be against my brand for me to answer a kicker question. You can also get your question here, but ask our friend Linda. She is the kicker guru.
Yes, Lindellians on Twitter is the person you asked.
Sanders, he is the highest point scoring kicker. Currently number 1 ranked. You got to start him at all costs. He is the best kicker you have.
I really feel like I want to go to a restaurant and order a Sanders nugget and a Gay Boswell Elliott. See what happens. Like maybe a Gay Boswell Elliott's a really good drink that nobody out there.
It very well could be. It sounds
nice.
Right, just serve it with confidence is all I'd tell the bartender. Just serve it with confidence. I'll drink it. We need to let these guys know that we are in the JT Truther Club. That is a fact right there. We are in the JT Truther Club. We do think he's going to surge, but I think it's going to be a year 3 thing.
So
we got Francis.
Who isn't?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm fully on board with JT. So
okay, well, he's the number 2 dynasty running back overall. So if I need to show my JT Truther card, I called him the number 1 running back in November of 2019 before he even made the league. So yeah, him doing this isn't surprising. He's going to win you a championship starting this week.
So I ranked him higher than CEH. I'm still not a truther on either of one of them.
Yeah, I would say I have Swift and JT Truther cards that I wave that flag on Twitter nonstop at this point. And Josh Allen, as Dirty knows. Me and Dirty might lead the Josh Allen fan club. He was in earlier because of Wyoming, but I got in pretty early, and I've been holding firm in that club.
I retweeted a tweet yesterday that I did at John Elway saying, grab him in the 5th or I'm going to call you a moron for years. And so I'm still out there calling John Elway a moron, and I love every second of it. With that, guys, we got a phone call. Caller, you're on with the Blitz. What's your name? Where are you from?
What up, Mike? This is Oswaldo.
What's up, Oswaldo? How we doing, buddy? How's it going today?
It's going good, man. Just having the second thoughts. I have Dobbins and I got James Robinson in my starting lineup. But I mean, now that Mark Ingram's out, it's for sure gonna be Edwards and Dobbins. Do I still play Robin? Do I play Robinson still?
So
you got to start James Robinson.
Robinson or Dobbins, is that the choice?
Yes.
Okay. How's your matchup look like? Do you need a big game, or you think you're going to win if you get a decent floor?
Well, I'm up by 61 points on my opponent. I got 4 players that already played: Jacobs, Waller, Adams, and Rogers. So I have 61 points from that. My opponent, he has Matt Ryan, Crowder, Ridley, Sanders, Latavius Murray, Kelsey, A.J. Brown, Lutz, and Minnesota defense.
Okay, I don't know how your opponent's in the playoffs.
I'm reading that. I'm going, what?
Yeah, so let's go floor with James Robinson. I think that if you told me that it was the other way around, I would play Dobbins as the potential. I think Dobbins has the potential at a huge game this week, but it also could be Gus Edwards' week. Like we saw, whoever they get the touchdowns to, it could be Lamar Jackson. There's a lot of question marks there. So you go James Robinson. It's a tough matchup against the Ravens front seven. But still, I think Robinson's a guy who you're guaranteed to get that kind of 10 to 12 points. And since your opponent is horrible, that's what I would take and just bank it.
I'm gonna agree. I like James Robinson too much. He's been carrying you this whole year. Just ride him one more week.
Yeah, clean sweep, definitely James.
What do you think? So you think I look good or what for the W?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You should crush him. If you lose, I'd love to hear why. Because that's you have him by a mile.
I still got Godwin, Akers, James Robinson. I got Sanders as my kicker, and then I got Cleveland defense.
So the only thing I would tell you, honestly, now that you give me your whole team, I'm not sure I wouldn't go Dobbins over Akers. The reason why I say that, the Jets legitimately do not give up anything on the ground. Everyone thinks this game script. The Jets have not won a game, so they're always losing, and they don't give up anything on the ground. If you saw the Raiders game, what they did to Booker, and then Carr and Waller went off, that's what I expect this week. I expect it to be a big passing game, a huge passing game. So, man, I don't know. I wouldn't go Dobbins over against Jacksonville over Akers against the Jets. It's a much better matchup.
I don't know. Akers is going to get at least 20 touches. It's hard to bench somebody getting 20 touches.
No doubt, but think of what we have from McVay. Right. Think of, they always do this weird crap, right? Like with Malcolm Brown coming in at the most inopportune times. It just scares me. They're close. It's a coin flip, right? Yeah, I guess because your opponent sucks, we would go Akers just on the touches alone. But I would be not even a bit surprised if Dobbins outscores him this week.
I wouldn't be surprised either. So, I mean, I think Dobbins is safer. I think Akers has the higher upside.
Other way around, right?
Did you guys think Mark Ingram was a healthy scratch?
Really? You think Akers is safer?
Yeah, well, I think we just talked about Akers gets the touches. So Akers gets the guaranteed touches, but Dobbins is getting touches.
Well, they're both guaranteed touches, I think, at this point. I think they're both high caliber running backs with the current situation that they're both in.
I don't know in Baltimore though if Dobbins is guaranteed touches. They get Edwards involved. Lamar runs the ball. I agree with you. I think Akers is just a little safer. I think they both have high upsides. Dobbins has looked electric. He could take to the house in one play. So I think you're in a good position with one of them, but I do lean Akers over Dobbins.
Yeah, I'm going to go Akers over Dobbins, but I also go James Robinson over Dobbins also.
100%.
Cool. Okay. All right. I'll just keep my line the same then. Anything else change about the kicker? Y'all like Sanders this week? I mean,
Sanders is the highest scoring kicker. Keep him.
Right? Yep. Yeah, they got you there.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, good luck to y'all too.
Good luck.
Good
luck.
Guys
just sipping coffee.
Getting that championship. With that, we got another call. We got a caller. You're on with the Blitz. What's your name? Where you from?
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Froggy B one more time. Hey, guys.
Froggy,
what's up? Doing right now?
What's up, man?
Let's go.
So I just heard Ezekiel Elliott's out for the game. I see Tony Pollard on the waivers. Would you guys flex Cam Akers or Pollard?
Cam Akers.
Akers.
Yeah.
All right. For sure. Appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
There we go.
No worries, man.
Good luck this week.
Short and simple. I like it.
I see you guys all drinking coffee, and it's like frustrating to watch.
Yeah, man, it's pretty good. I'll take a nice little sip for you.
Oh.
Oh, mine is it's my wife's cup. So
Oh, wow, Queen, nice, Queen of the Kingdom, huh? Not bad. I like it.
That's bold. That's a bold statement and hopefully a bold coffee. We got Francis Ventura on. He's asking Andrews or Pollard for his flex.
Pollard.
I'm against putting tight ends in your flex. I'd always go Pollard.
See, I normally am too. Pollard's definitely the safer play, but I don't know what you're going to get out of Pollard. It's a tough matchup with the wide. No, Hollywood's back, but there's still. There any of the other wide receivers that are going to miss now? I know you said Hollywood's been activated.
I think they're all back. Yeah, I think
yeah. The whole
with that being said, I think I will roll Pollard. If Hollywood was out, I would roll Andrews, but I think Pollard's the safer play. Running back is the safe play.
Minnie Jordan asked, in a PPR, is Penny droppable, or should you just wait till the Seahawks game is over?
Yeah, wait till the game's over now. I mean, see if they put him on the field. I don't think they will, but you got to at least – we're already here. You might as well find out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good running backs on Seattle, and everywhere from Carson to Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde. I don't see a scenario where Penny gets too many carries, but you might as well hold him just in case. One of them gets hurt, congratulations, you get yourself an RB2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Pretty much you guys said it all. Unless there's somebody out there floating on waivers that you're looking to potentially start this week. If you're just dropping them just to drop them, there's no reason to do that. You might as well hold on and see if somebody gets hurt.
There you go. We got Black Mama asks, PPR, Goddard, Smith, or Jonnu?
Yeah, I have no idea. What do you guys think?
What do you mean, which Smith?
There's a lot of Smiths.
I'm sorry,
Irv Smith?
Irv. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I was like, Jonnu Smith is the same person. Irv.
I think I got to go Smith.
Yeah, I mean, Jonnu's been held into block. Goddard now has Ertz to compete with, and Jalen Hurts is not throwing the ball as much. Irv Smith, I just think he's a top 5 guy this week.
I can get on board with that.
Good matchup, good situation. You like to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Jonnu's touchdown dependent since AJ Brown's been back.
Absolutely. That's a fact, too. Panther Wow 22 says, start or sit Wilson Jr. or Mostert full PPR?
Start
Mostert.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's in his name. Must start.
You know, that's a really good point.
The Diesel 07 says projected to lose by 18. He needs 2 of these guys. He needs Landry, Wilson, or Bowden.
Landry and Bowden is who I'd go because I think they have the highest upside. Landry, he's been killing it as of late. He's not necessarily getting the touchdowns, but he's getting a lot of volume, getting a lot of yards. I like to see where he's going. Bowden, he just seems like a much higher upside without Devontae Parker. Wilson, I think he's just going to get you 10 carries, 50 yards, maybe a touchdown, but that's not good enough for me when you're projected to lose by 18.
Yeah, Landry's the easy one. Smash start out of this group in 3. I'm going to go Bowden as well because of the upside. I agree. If you were projected to win by 10, I would say Wilson. Considering that you're projected to lose, I would go with the upside of Bowden and hope he has another one of those 11 target games, which is entirely possible.
Yep. Clean sleep for me, and Landry should have a good game too with Bradbury being out.
Absolutely. Yeah, Landry's been looking good all season, but last week, man, I had a guy ask me, he said, Landry or T.Y. Hilton? I'm like, I just don't trust T.Y. Hilton. He hasn't been getting it done. I mean, I know he's been coming on pretty hot, but boy, I was a little bit wrong on that one. George,
that's the case of the right process, wrong result, though. You were right thinking. It just sometimes that's just the way it works out.
But it's not like Landry did bad. Landry did good. It's just T.Y. Hilton did a little bit better.
Yeah, he scored 2 times. George Reed says, Kyler or Tannehill?
I go Kyler just because of the rushing upside. As of right now, Kyler has the 2nd most rushing touchdowns out of all quarterbacks. Of course, Cam Newton is number 1, and then Josh Allen's number 3. But the rushing upside is just too high to ignore. So I go Kyler Murray.
Kyler's top 5 this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that Derrick Henry's going to run all over Detroit. I think Tannehill's going to be fine, but I think he's got some limited upside because of that. Like you said, Kyler's top 5. He's somebody that if I have him, I'm starting him pretty much every week.
Absolutely. Bob Gilchrist asks, Komet, Ebron, Logan Thomas, we got to choose 2.
Why 2? Let's see, Komet and then Logan Thomas. I don't trust Ebron to save my life.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go Komet and Ebron. He's actually he's been pretty consistent. He's getting the targets. Last game, it was his first game in 4 weeks that he didn't have double-digit touchdowns. Big Ben's looking at him in the red zone. I like Ebron a lot. And, of course, I can't go against my guy, Cole Kmet. I might be kicked out of the club if I do. So,
As Kmet and Thomas for me. Pretty easily, actually. So,
Okay.
Right. 2-1.
I like it. Panther Wow says flex PPR, Juju, Higgins, or Gage?
Which Higgins? There's multiple Higgins now. There's a T Higgins and there's a Rashard Higgins.
let's say T just to make it interesting.
Just to make it T, Gage. I think Tampa Bay is going to be up a lot. I think Gage is going to have to put up a lot of PPR points, and I think he's going to pull through.
I'm going to go Juju. I've been telling you all about the Pittsburgh wide receivers. My gut is it's a Juju game. Could be all wet there, but I think Juju has a decent enough floor to come close to Gage, even if he doesn't pull through, and a much higher ceiling. And Higgins with the quarterback situation, I love T Higgins, but not today or tomorrow, I should say. It's Monday again.
yeah, I'm going to break the tie. I'm going to go Juju as well. I like the matchup. He's played better as of late. He's still got the ceiling. It's really close. It's a coin flip for me, but I just kind of like Mike said, it's one of those things. I just kind of got a gut feeling that Juju's going to have a good game this week. He's another one that everybody's been poo-pooing all over, and he's really turned it on as of late.
2-1, I lose.
Mark Mingo says flex Pollard or Wilson?
Pollard.
Actually, give me to say Pollard for once today. Mini Mall Impact says which 2.5 point? Cooks, Hines, Wilson, or Chark?
Wide receivers.
Wide receiver, yeah. If it's PPR, I'm always looking for a little bit of wide receivers over the edge, especially when the running backs aren't this talented. Cooks and Chark.
Yeah, they're both backups, so you definitely go with the wide receivers. If the running backs are starters, being half point, it might be a different story, but here you definitely go with the wide receivers.
Excellent. Agree with that as well. Although I do love me some Nyheim Hines today.
I was surprised you said you agreed, but Nyheim Hines is floating out there. But.
Yeah, Nyheim Hines and Cooks for me actually is who I'd probably lean on this one, but I'm in the minority there. We got Ricardo Banks asking, PPR, he needs a running back and 2 flexes. He's got Bowden, Ahmed, and Pittman, Jared Cook, or Kmet. So he needs one running back out of those 2. So would you guys play which one out of those guys?
Who are the running backs again?
Bowden and Ahmed.
Bowden and Ahmed. I think I have to go with Ahmed. I think he's the safest just because we know he is the running back and he's going to get a lot of touches. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Yeah, no, it's Ahmed in this particular case. Go with the safe option, and that's how you get yards on the Patriots is on the ground. So I think he's a nice safe floor.
Okay, so we got him in. So that leaves us with Bowden, Pittman, Cook, or Kmet and he needs 2 for the flex.
Pittman and Bowden is who I would go. I think Pittman is a very good wide receiver who just happened to get outshined by T.Y. Hilton these past few weeks. And Bowden, I think he has a tremendous upside against which should be a leading from behind. Or actually, they could be ahead. But if they're ahead, that means he probably had a pretty good game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're in trouble either way, bro. I'm sorry. That's
a little rough.
Those are your choices. You're in trouble because we're telling you 2 Miami Dolphins. That's not ideal. Sorry, but
it's a brutal scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Pittman a lot this week. It's a good matchup, and he's been playing well this season as well. Like you said, Hilton's been super hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Pittman as well just to get out of the double Miami situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to double up on that team. Not any day in most cases. Okay, so guys, that kind of wraps up our questions. We're all caught up on calls and questions. So we'll just go ahead and move into the thrive over and unders, guys, and then we'll get on out of here. We got Deshaun Watson coming in today. They have him at 262.5 total passing yards. Are we going over or under?
265 total?
262.5.
262.5.
Under.
Yeah.
Under. He's got the Colts.
Under. Colts.
I think they'll have to be pass heavy. I expect them to be down.
Yep.
I don't expect them to win, but 262?
That's a lot for Deshaun Watson. That's not what he's been doing this year, but
Under's the easy one. I'd have to go under. Under.
yeah, I mean, he has been 300 3 straight games before Chicago, but the Colts a tough matchup.
Okay, so we're taking the under there. Jonathan Taylor, over or under?
I'm just going to say over. You just
I knew that was coming, Mike.
over.
Next question. Over 78.5 rushing yards?
What? 150 and 2 touchdowns this week. He was going to double that prop bet. That is insane. Can I put like
as well
a house on that one? 78 against Houston. The guys that he went for 154 2 weeks ago.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. The Houston Texans.
Yes.
Yes, you would be correct.
78. I could get 78 against the Texans, and I got 2 bad knees.
I love you, Mike. I don't know about that one.
Over or under 71.5 total receiving yards.
For who?
Who?
Adam Thielen.
Over.
Over.
The over against Chicago. We've got Tua Tagliavoa. I'm never going to say that right. Over or under 1.5 total passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Under.
I think he gets 1.
Is it passing? It's specifically passing or touchdowns, period?
Specifically passing.
Okay, then I'm going to go under. If it was total, then I could see him, running one in. But as much as I hate the Patriots, Bill Belichick owns rookie quarterbacks. So I'm going to take the under on this.
Excellent. I'm agreeing with that too. James Robinson over under half of a total rushing touchdown. So is he going to score or is he not going to score? Over or under?
Yeah,
I'm going over.
I think he scores, yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Mark Andrews, same question.
Under.
Over.
I'm going to go over.
Over.
Lamar looks for him in the red zone.
Chris Carson, 79.5 total rushing and receiving yards.
Over.
So that's total yards.
That's total yards.
Oh, yeah, over.
Yeah, over.
Okay. Amari Cooper over or under total 5.5 receptions.
Over.
Yeah, over. He's been targeting him heavy.
Cam Akers, the over under on half of a touchdown, rushing or receiving.
Under.
Going over.
I'm going over.
Jets, man, they don't do it.
If it was just rushing, I would say maybe under. But I like the option of him dumping it off in the red zone and getting that. He's got, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Alvin Kamara over under 65.5 total rushing yards.
Under.
Oh, rushing.
Yards.
Oh, dang. Under. Sorry.
Under.
I thought that was the easiest bet in history. Sorry, I thought that was total.
If you would have said 65 catches, I would have went the over. But rushing yards,
That's what it's feeling like.
Don't think I could go with the over there.
Okay, so then now we have our ice picks. And what those are is if any of these players are inactive or anything like that, they will pull them out. Patrick Mahomes, over under total 314.5 total passing yards.
Holy heck.
350?
314.5.
Against the Saints.
They're not going to run the ball on the Saints. He's going to have to pass. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, give me the over. Why not?
Give him in the over. And then the last one of the day, guys, Jarvis Landry over under half of a total touchdown. So is he scoring or is he not?
He is scoring, yes.
I like the over.
He is scoring. Well, guys, that is the Thrive hot picks of the day right there. And that is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. And just get on there, get a deposit in, tell them Sleeper Wire sent you, and they will double your deposit. Guys, why don't you let them know where you can find it? G-Man J, why don't you start us off, bud?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at GManJ. A part of 2 great sites, both sleeperwire.com and goingfor2.com. I write a weekly column at both, although I'm done over at Going for 2 for the year, but we do have one more that I collaborate with Justin B on, starts and sits, so we'll have that out for you next week as well. And then I'm going to start back up with a weekly podcast with my guy Dan Turner. You can follow him on Twitter at EagleDanFF. Back January 14th, we're going to start rebranding it. We're calling it a podcast with upside, and it's very similar to this, that take viewer questions, we discuss weekly topics and things of that nature.
Okay, and Nader, how about you, bud?
You can find me on Twitter at @TopTierTactics_ or on Instagram at TTT Fantasy Football. Or you can listen to my podcast with my co-host where we kind of just mostly insult each other with some fantasy football in between at Top Tier Tactics. And of course on YouTube as well at Top Tier Tactics Fantasy Football.
It's
And
me
then
and Dan do the same thing, so I like that.
There we go.
That's all we ever do. I feel like that's what brings people into this industry is the trash talk. If you're good at trash talk,
Exactly.
get on some of these shows.
Mike's
Speaking
been
of
on
which,
with us. He's seen it.
my boy Daddy's Home FF, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, even though I just kind of dropped it in the line right there, Mike?
Where can't you find me at this point, Dirty, right? At Daddy's Home FF on Twitter. You can find me here every other Sunday doing Start and Sit. You can find me every Wednesday at Join Our Circle _ at 8 p.m., part of that Fire Wednesday lineup. I was just told you can find me with T-King, Laquan, Rum Boys, and Fantasy in Session doing their final season award show. You can find me on Dynasty Drive this Monday.
Mike is all over the place, man. Just go on Twitter and you'll find Mike somewhere.
Yeah, it just hit me up on Twitter. You'll see all of these. You can find me this week. I was on, this is a podcast that I do. I was also on with Scott Fish on our show. So literally just hit me up at Daddy's Home FF and say, where are you today? I guarantee you I'll tell you somewhere. And always chopping it up with the Sleeper Wire boys when they call. Dirty knows that. You call me, I come showing up because I love this session, love the audience, and love the people involved. So.
And we love having you on here. And just as always, you can find me at Dirty Jobs 21. You can always find us at the Sleeper Wire Show. Get your questions in there. We get back to you within about 24 hours there. And again, guys, if you're not out there looking at these articles, you are missing out. Get on that site. Go check these out. These guys are killing it. And they're probably, if you've been following this, you're definitely still involved because we are in the championship.
We're going to have lots of articles in the off season as well. So keep an eye out.
Yeah, we only get stronger during the off season. We start talking Dynasty here very soon. Guys, here we go. Week 15. Let's do this. Let's get in the ships. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Good luck, everybody.